watching ITV Gold and I'm your host Aditi Lamba. On Vision of Asia today we have a very interesting personality, a South Asian American who's here to talk to us about this amazing website application that he has made for the South Asian cab drivers over here. We're talking to Mr. Jack Pohani. He's the CEO and founder of TLC Drive Ezee website app, and a very interesting concept of sort of providing some very special services to our cab drivers, a population that, you know, creates a lot of job and opportunities for the South Asian community. So on the show today we have with us Mr. Jack Pohani. Thank you so much for being with us on Vision of Asia.
Thank you for inviting me, Aditi.
Beautiful. Mr. Jack, your concept with the TLC Drive Ezee app is to sort of provide a resourceful avenue for the cab drivers, you know, for more people in the population that could really utilize certain space. Before our interview, you were talking to me about the idea that, you know, you created this app because you saw certain issues with the cab drivers when you interacted with them. So just, you know, opening up this interview for all of our viewers, what exactly drove you to come up with this app and this website? And, you know, what are these issues you found with the cab drivers that you really wanted to solve?
To start with, the drivers do face a lot of problems. I mean, it looks easy just taking a car and driving around. It looks easy. It's a very difficult job otherwise also. But even to get a license, it's cumbersome. So this idea came in when I was sharing an apartment with a few of these guys, and you know, I would visit TLC. And when you enter the office, you don't really find it's an easy process. You just walk in and that's that. But when you walk into a TLC office, it's basically when you walk in, Uber has taken the space from everybody. So when you walk in, Uber does the job for you. They don't guide you as to what the driver is supposed to do. So what happens is the driver is not known with a lot of facts. All they do is they sign up with Uber and Uber takes care. Now, with due respect, Uber is good. Uber is doing a good job. But what happens is the driver is not informed. What we've done is, then the TLC Drive Ezee platform, its idea is to collate entire data. Now, TLC is a vast organization. But when you look at the processes, it's all over. When you look at the when you Google TLC, you'll have different kind of portals, different kind of information, updates and so on. It's all over the place.
So the people that are actually getting affected the most, or the drivers that are struggling, if I'm understanding you, are these the yellow cab drivers we're talking about primarily that are struggling a lot right now with TLC, according to you?
No, it's everybody. They are in the news for a while now saying that, you know, I don't want to get into that. That's a different issue altogether. Yeah. But yellow, green and the black, the Uber drivers, they all are regulated by the TLC.
Okay.
So it's answering your question. Yes, they're all governed, regulated by TLC, but they're all different in that sense. They're looking at different kind of passengers. Like yellow is road hail, basically whatever you could stop. Uber is governed with the basis.
So what are the issues of these drivers though? Like exactly when you're looking at these drivers, be it Ubers, be it the yellow cab or the green cabs, you know, again, everyone, we are talking about the tri-state area right now, cab drivers, or the whole mobility of Uber is huge over here. So when you're talking about that, Mr. Jack, what were these issues that the drivers particularly face?
See, now when say the driver has to get his license, particularly I'm talking now, there's an application process which involves, you have your drug test, you have a background check, you have a 24-hour class,
of course,
you have a wheelchair.
So the whole process.
There's a whole process.
Okay.
So now the entire process, for him to keep himself abreast, it takes a while. So and then there's a checklist. Okay. With this TLC Drive Ezee application, all he looks at and enters the list that he's completed, and it's a checklist done, taken care. So all under one place for him to look good. That's one. Then there are useful links where the driver has to reach out. It's not there. He has to really look for it unless somebody guides them. So this particular application reaches out and it's there in one click. One click and he knows the important useful links right there. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about this application now that you're, you know, sort of hinting a little bit more on its process. Exactly how is this website working? And when you as a person who wants to drive in New York City or New Jersey, how do you sort of like go on the website and how do you think it helps them in comparison to them just sort of doing this on their own?
Say for example, the first thing that the driver does is obviously gets his the particular license updated for even to apply for TLC license. So then the application process requires you to sign up online for the TLC. It's a form, it's a fee that they pay. And then you're regulated with a certain sets of things that you need to do. which I mentioned earlier. There could be a background check, a drug test, a 24-hour class, wheelchair, and so on. Now, these are very important areas they have to cover. Once that is taken care, after that, he is obviously waiting for a process of 90 days, then he gets his license and so on.
Okay.
So basically, I mean, talking about this application allows them to go through that process.
Okay.
Like
so how did you sort of accumulate everything? Are there other organizations that you now have to affiliate yourself with to get all those information on your website? How is your database being sort of sustained?
See, we have collated the data from various places.
Okay.
Idea is that we're not changing, we're giving factual, whatever data is required for the driver to know on a click of a button.
Okay.
So this is the only platform that provides that kind of a solution. Now, this having said, this is one area the driver needs. Now, his job doesn't end by getting a license.
Right.
It really starts from there. So he needs help with getting a car, insurance.
You have it all on the website.
He needs help with summons and violations. He needs help with insurance. So these are areas that he needs help. So that I call it the assistance. So there's application process, there is assistance. Now largely, if I may say so, people are coming from different ethnicities.
Right.
Okay. I mean, we are a land of opportunities, I agree, but this is a land of immigrants. And we as Indians, we speak different languages. And for that matter, it is not just restricted to Indians. It's basically for every ethnicity, every person that comes into this country.
Right.
Now, what I have done is, now this is very different. What I've done is I've created the app to be converted in any language. Now, that's a big plus. Okay, you could convert it in the language you understand.
Considering a lot of these drivers, especially in the New York area, as we see, have a huge concentration of the immigrant population. There's a language barrier for sure.
Yes.
So now, if I'm understanding this, you're creating basically a portal for these cab drivers from the beginning of their journey throughout, I'm guessing.
It's an end-to-end solution. It's and it doesn't end there. It's an ongoing thing. I'll come to that. So basically, the translation, which is I call it translation, into the language that you understand. So the driver feels comfortable there. He's not intimidated in terms of, who is he speaking to, what does he need to understand.
Right.
And then there's audio. Even if he wants to listen to his language, it's convenient for him. Now this is part A, but particularly in an application, there's a process called 24-hour class.
Okay.
The driver has to give a 24-hour, this is mandatory. He has to give that class. Now that class has a certain set of tests that he needs to give, which is a 80-question test that he has to pass for him to qualify for the license. Now that is important. What I've done is I've created those 3 sets of questions, basically 3 sets of 80 questions each. If he passes through that, he's sure to give the exam better. And other thing is, I mean, statistically speaking, I'm just telling you about the records that I have.
Right.
Only 53% pass that test.
Oh, wow.
So what really means is they're giving the test twice to pass. Now, each test is $75 for the drivers.
Wow.
So if by creating these 3 sets, what I've done is I've actually saved their money in that sense.
But Mr. Jack, how has there not been a website similar to this before?
You know what? I don't know if you know when you go to a DMV and you do a DMV test for like 20 questions.
Yeah.
Those questions are there. Multiple questions there. You find them online, Google.
Yes,
it's
you
free.
can memorize your questions if you really want.
But this is 80 questions. This has, they give you a map. You need to understand the city well, 5 boroughs. You need to know your city well.
Oh,
okay. So there are questions that you need to know about the roads. There are questions that you need to know about the maps and so on. So it is cumbersome, and I'm surprised why nobody has touched this area, and which is why I was able to get into this. Right. So the 80 questions are, and I took about 500 to 800 questions to shortest this 3 sets of questions that I created.
Right.
So thankfully it looked good, yeah.
So now that you've been in the market for a few months now, the application is live, the website is live, you're getting more and more drivers attracted to you. How has the response been so forth? And having a South Asian population right in front of you, who is obviously so involved in this industry of cab drivers, has it helped you personally because you're also from the community?
Well, it was not. I was not looking to help myself for sure. I mean, it started as a thought, helping few friends of mine that I knew, and then I would mention Professor Saluja, and I call him Uncle G, he's a dear friend, and so. He suggested this idea could look big. Why don't you promote this on a different level? And so that's how I took this, and I made sure that this idea is big enough for people to take benefit of this. So it wasn't really helping me.
Yeah.
It is trying to reach out to people. Yeah.
How are the cab drivers reacting to your app right now? What kind of response
It is new. It's in the process. We've got about 1,000 users, and we've got a database of over 12,000 drivers. So we're reaching out. It's a work in progress. We're trying to reach out on a daily basis, and hopefully it should look big with platforms like this. And gets the awareness it needs. Yeah.
Mr. Jack, there is such a huge trend of digital marketing or digital platforms, as well as technology sort of being a part of all of that, especially when you look at South Asians. This is something that we've sort of seen in the last couple of years. This definitely is a part of that process when you're talking about it, sort of bringing more and more material into the digital space. What's your take on the tech world and Indians in it, and how far do you see it going when you look at a country like the US?
You mean technology as an industry growing? Of course it is growing. Everything is digital today. Everything. I mean, you, me, everybody is digital. Today all the businesses, I mean, not to speak and deviate from the topic, but the big industries are looking online. Everybody is digitized. So yeah, I mean, it's there to stay. I mean, it's there for a long term, yeah.
And where do you see the Indian American contribution into it? So now we have people in the IT space, we have people making applications, we have people really trying to target real life problems like you've done with the cab driver situation. Where do you see that Indian American contribution going forth in the future?
It's a big question. I mean, I'm just a small player. I don't see as a big contributor. But this is a very small thing that I could do. And I feel privileged and honored, whatever little I could do. But Indians are doing a lot. I mean, I get a chance to reach out to people, and the organization that are created. They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot. So I'm saying, yes, Indians do contribute. Our presence is felt very strongly. It's not that we are immigrants and we don't understand. We love this country, and our presence is strongly felt, more so now. Yeah.
When you put this concept together of creating this app and also involving it in a space where immigrants are highly a part of it, what kind of a statement are you personally trying to do for there? And what would you like to say to these cab drivers right now that perhaps are going through all the issues that you discussed?
See, I mean, cab drivers, this is probably, I'm reaching out to them in a way that I understand and I felt them, but there's nothing much I can tell them. They're working hard. It's not an easy job.
Right.
And by providing this app free, I think I'm doing my job, a little bit that I could help them in my way.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's a tough job. Driving is not easy.
No, it's not.
And, yeah, just to getting back to that, summons and violations is a huge area, and the drivers face a lot of harassment in that sense, and they have no direction when they get these summons and violations. So they're paying all kind of money. So this app also allows you to reach out to the right kind of people who are certainly regulated, and they know the job well, and they don't really charge you money that is unreasonable in that sense.
What do you foresee as the future of your app? When you look at the concept that you've created for the cab drivers, when I'm thinking about it, so many people's incomes depend upon it, especially from the South Asian community that are, on the cabs 24/7 throughout the tri-state. Where do you see this app helping them in future? How far do you think is the extent of your app?
See, I mean, just to give you the numbers, there are about 14,000 yellow cabs. There are about 50,000 what you call Uber drivers.
Wow.
Okay, now these are the cars that you see on the road, but the number of drivers, they go in about 150,000. Obviously, there are drivers that are changing and so on. So this is a big space, and taxi is huge. It's there to stay. I mean, obviously we need the cabs and so on. So the future is there. I mean, comparing to the app, this platform could be a platform where they could have a say. It could be a platform where people could address their issues with this platform. So I'm looking at it from that point where they're organized. For now, they're not. So this platform could give them that place to get organized and have their word across. Yes.
Beautiful. Well, it was great having you on the show with us. Any last messages you'd like to give to the viewers of ITV Gold on your amazing app, and perhaps the messages out to all our amazing cab drivers?
I think I would like to, first of all, thank you and thank the ITV team for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. And I believe from this platform on, this application could get the response it is deserving. So thank you again, Aditi. Thank you for inviting me. It feels good to be here.
Thank you so much for being with us. And that was everyone, Mr. Jack Pohani, the CEO and founder for TLC Drive Ezee app. Do check out their website and see what he's done to transform that space and the resourceful space for all the cab drivers. I'm Aditi Lamba signing off. Stay with us on ITV Gold as we bring you so much more.